take a seat. We're going to talk about some pitches. I myself am a pitcher. I throw a few pitches. Mainly I predominantly throw a four-seam fastball, frisbee slider, aka sweeper, and a sinker. I prefer these pitches. They're all good out of my arm slot, and they definitely supply a lot of movement. My four-seamer I like to keep inside to righties, and I like to throw my slider away. And most of the time try and get the batter to back off the plate, and then try and drop it in low and middle. Let's talk about some pitchers. I'm going to be going by divisions. I'm going to start off with the AL East, where we have Cy Young Award winner Garrett Cole. I forgot the motherfucker's name for a second. Four-seam fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, cutter. He was pretty nasty this year with one of the best fastballs in baseball. But, in my opinion, one of the nastiest pitches has to go to Kevin Gausman of the Toronto Blue Jays. Four-seam fastball and his split finger pitch was absolutely filthy this year. Run value on StatCast, run value on Baseball Savant doesn't really say so, which is where I pull these from, but just looking at the eye test and looking at expected batting average against, I really liked it this year. He also threw in a slider, and I think he threw in a few changeups. If we're also going to be talking about some pitchers, why not talk about Kyle Bradish? This is my third time going through this. My earpods are about to die. I've cut off the AC to my room so it won't make that much noise. And I am very tired. Kyle Bradish of the Orioles, slider, four-seam, sinker, curveball, changeup. He had a really good year this year. This is the year where they didn't have Jordan Lyles, and Bradish put a lot of his success for Jordan Lyles, which I have to give it to him. If we're going to talk about Red Sox pitcher, I want to talk about Kenley Jansen. He had a really good season this year, deserved his All-Star appearance, and let's just show it. Cutter, slider, sinker. He didn't really need anything else besides cutter, and it shone throughout his career. We have a few more pitchers to talk. I think we have, Tampa Bay. I want to talk about Shane McClanahan. It sucks that he's hurt. I like watching Shane McClanahan. Fastball, curveball, changeup, slider. It's so much fun to watch Shane McClanahan. It is. Dude, it's filthy. Alright, let's move on to another Cy Young runner-up. Sonny Gray of the Minnesota Twins. Four-seam fastball, sweeper, curveball, sinker, changeup, gutter. I really like Sonny Gray's sweeper this year. I like the inclusion of it more in his arsenal. He really mixed it up with his curveball and his four-seam. So the sinker and changeup are pretty good, and his cutter was a good pitch to throw him off. If we're going to talk about pitcher style, let's talk about Shane Bieber. Fastball, I think he threw more sliders. Curveball, changeup, cutter. He's pretty good this year. He did get hurt. I think, I don't know. I actually forgot about Shane Bieber this year. I want to talk about one of the most underrated players, though, and that is Mr. Gregory Santos of the Chicago White Sox. Slider, sinker, four-seam, changeup. He was absolutely filthy this year. He throws gas with that sinker, throws gas with that four-seamer, and he has one of the better sliders in baseball. Who else do we got to cover? Oh, Detroit. Tarek Skubal. He's one of my favorite pitchers to watch. Four-seamer, changeup, slider, sinker, curveball. I really like watching his slider. Really like his four-seamer. I really like his sinker. Wish he could have thrown more of them, but his slider has been kind of a struggle pitch for him. I still feel like his slider is one of his better pitches, and if he could just get his kinks worked out with it, it's going to be absolutely filthy. Last pitcher I'm going to talk about is actually going to be a pitcher that I'm going to bring up later. Maybe. I don't know. This is on the fly. Aroldis Chapman when he was on the Royals. Four-seamer, slider, sinker, splitter. Of course, Chapman wasn't on the Royals the entire year. He got traded, but I'm going to count him because I can't think of any other pitcher besides like Brad Keller, and that's it. Yeah, because they traded. Anyways, we're moving on to the AL West. Why not talk about MVP Shohei Ohtani? Sweeper, four-seam, sinker, cutter, splitter, curveball, slider. Ohtani got his second MVP in 3 years. pretty good. He's the only pitcher to win MVP this year, but he also hit absolute tanks. So, What about Justin Verlander? Four-seamer, slider, curveball, changeup. He's one of the better curveballs in baseball. His slider's underrated, and his fastball's pretty good. Did not doubt the Hall of Famer. He didn't really have the best season with the Mets this year, though. So, let's talk about another Mets player that got traded. Max Scherzer. Fastball, slider, changeup, cutter, curveball. Lowell Mets reign supreme. Last pitcher I want to talk about is Andres Munoz of the Seattle Mariners. Yes, slider, four-seam, sinker. This dude throws an absolutely nasty slider as his primary. His four-seamer and sinker are just straight filth. This guy's one of my favorite relievers to watch. Unless he's playing the A's, then I am in clinical depression. And let's move on to the AL East. Well, let's move on to NL. Starting in the East, let's talk about Kodai Senga in the Mets. Fastball, cutter, forkball. This is how I grip a forkball. Of course, his forkball grip is more like this. Then he had a slider and a sweeper. Spencer Strider for the Braves. He had a high ERA this year, but he had a very low FIP. I really like Spencer Strider, though he did have a few clunkers. Four-seamer, slider, changeup. Oh, my back hurts. I'm already 6 minutes to throw. Fucking kill me. Washington Nationals. I want to talk about Josiah Gray. Slider, cutter. No, I think it's sinker, four-seam, curveball, changeup. He has a really good slider, very good sinker, very good cutter. I really like Josiah Gray. I wish him a lot of success moving forward. He's straight up filthy. Like, he is filthy. He just shows that he doesn't need velocity. Though, he does have a fair amount of it. I think we got 2 more left. Yep. Let's talk about the Phillies pitcher, Zach Wheeler. Four-seam fastball, sinker, sweeper, slider, curveball, changeup, and I think he threw a splitter. I think he threw a singular splitter this year, but I'm not sure what they classified that changeup as. Let's see. Who else do we got to cover? Oh yeah, the Marlins. Which is weird, because they're a playoff team. Did anybody expect the Marlins to be a playoff team this year? I don't think so. I'm going to talk about A.J. Puck. A.J. Puck threw a four-seamer, a slider, a sinker, and a changeup. God, I miss A.J. Puck. Please come back to Oakland. Please come back to Oakland. Well, now to be in Las Vegas. Fuck you, John Fisher. NL Central, I'm going to talk about the Brewers. Devin Williams, changeup, four-seam, cutter. He's filthy. Pirates, David Bednar, fastball, curveball, splitter. I'm sick, so. And then let's talk about 40-year-old Adam Wainwright. Oof. Sinker, curveball, cutter, four-seam, changeup. He had a terrible year this year. He was just getting nuked. I feel like after the last year, he should have just hung it up. I feel like the writing's on the wall. You could just kind of get it. I kind of get gut feelings. And I just knew this year wasn't going to be a good one for Waino at all. Moving on. What about Justin Steele? Fastball, slider, sinker, curveball, changeup. He was a Cy Young favorite for a while. And I think with all that, no, we've got to talk about Cincinnati. Graham Ashcraft. I like Graham Ashcraft. Dude is filthy. Cutter, slider, sinker. It wasn't all clicking this year, but I feel like he's got it next year. He's just too good not to have success next year. Let's talk about NL Cy Young Award winner, Blake Snell. Fastball, curveball, changeup, slider. And let's move on to the rival of the Padres, the Dodgers, and Clayton Kershaw. Slider, four-seam, beautiful Cooperstown curveball, And his changeup, now it's moving more to a split change. I think he threw a sinker this year. I think. I don't know. I'm not completely sure. What else I got to cover? Oh, yeah, the Giants. First of all, fuck the Giants. Second of all, let's do Logan Webb. Changeup, sinker, four seam, slider. I mean, he came third in Cy Young. What about the World Series runner-ups? The Arizona Diamondbacks. And my surprise pick, Brandon Pfaadt. Four seam, sweeper, sinker, curveball, changeup. Dude was an absolute stud in the playoffs. Absolute stud. Final pitcher I'm going to talk about today, well, mainly tonight, Daniel Bard of the Colorado Rockies. God, I really wish to see him pitching again next year. I want to see him pitch really good. Mainly he throws a sinker, a slider, four-seamer, and a changeup. But this year, he even added in a little slurve. Oh, look at that. Alright, I'm tired. My thing's about to die. Good night.